Hello everyone, I'm 혜준 from Hallin Girls Middle School. Today, we are going to learn about the Hansepool History Pilgrimage. That's why we have a special guest, Sahyun. Hello Sahyun.
Yes, hello, I'm Sahyun.
Could you explain the Hansepool History Pilgrimage for your friends who are listening to this voice?
Oh, of course. Hansepool History Pilgrimage Road is a 10-kilometer long pilgrimage from 옹포리 Port to 만뱅디 묘역 in 고림동. It's quite long, right? But if you walk down the street, you will be able to find a meaningful place where Jeju people's lives resemble the sites of 명월포 and 우악당. Also, this road is meaningful because there are many 4.3 historical sites such as 명월대, 만뱅디, and sites of 4.3.
I know. Hearing this makes me think that I should go even it's long. Lastly, please recommend a speech for those who listening to this voice.
Please pay a lot of attention to the meaningful Hansepool History Pilgrimage Road where you can see not only the trace of the 4.3 incident, but also the history and culture of Jeju Island.
Okay, thank you Sayan for answering in this interview so far. Let's finish up the learning 4.3 of Hallin Girls Middle School. Thank you. Hello, I'm reporter 혜준 from Hallin Girls Middle School. How did you feel about the Peace Museum?
I'm usually interested in history, but there are something different which I haven't heard. I could see real 땅불진지 made by Jeju people's forced labor and some of testimonies. I also saw some weapons of Japan, so I felt emotional that other days.
Oh, I see. I think this is good to know our history. Thank you for answering. Jeju, famous for its clean and beautiful nature. When you look at the high blue Hala mountain and surrounding it, you'll say wow. However, there was a painful history for Jeju which seemed to have always such beauty. That's why we're here. Sahyun, an expert on 일제동물진지.
Hello!
Hi, what exactly is the 일제동물진지?
The 일제동물진지 is the war-related facility of 일제강점기. You can feel the pain of that day vividly if you go to 가마오름 in 한경면, 제주시.
Oh, I see. Then, can you explain it to audience so that they can feel more attractive?
If you enter the 일제동물진지 of 가마오름, you can see a lot of moss. These mosses cover all the long walls, just as they cover the painful wound of the 동굴진지. Also, the cool and quiet atmosphere expresses a horribly sad history. You will be interested in the history of Jeju once you come out.
I see. I have to go too. Ladies and gentlemen, it was Sahyun and 혜준. We'll be back. Grandma, why there are so many things that look like cave here?
This is Arthur Airfield.
What is Arthur?
Arthur is a combination of Jeju's Ar meaning bottom and Jeju's Dur meaning wide field.
Why does Arthur Airfield exist?
Once upon a time, the Japanese used to use it as a base of advancing the invasion of China.
I think a lot of armies would have come to Jeju Island if it were 전쟁기지.
6,000 to 70,000 excellent soldiers came to Jeju Island, and that time there were about 250,000 Jeju residents, so it was never a small number.
Archery Airfield has done a lot of work as it is large.
Grandma, is this the old school you went to?
Yeah, also it's a field now. It was a place where there used to be quite an important meeting.
What happened here?
The 평화회담 was taking place here on April 28, 1948.
The 평화회담 that was considered important in trying to resolve 4.3 peacefully.
Oh my god, you know it well.
It's our history. But did the 평화회담 ended with a positive outcome?
No, unfortunately, the 평화회담 were divided and the government forces eventually dealt with the 4.3 incident in a crackdown which resulted in unnecessary casualties.
A very small conflict has led to a big tragedy.
Grandma, I just arrived at some of Mountain Kyo's Japanese cave position. What kind of place is this?
The Japanese Navy regard the place the special attack base.
I don't think so. It's just beautiful.
Under any circumstances, the story behind it is important.
What's the story about?
At the end of World War II, Japan was in crisis, so Japan fortified all of Jeju Island by using as a defense.
Japan fortified it?
Yes, Japan even built a commando to carry out suicide attacks with bombs.
Really? I can believe it. It's such a history event. From now on, we should not just think of Jeju's beauty and also remember the history.
Yes, I hope people who are listening this remember the history of Jeju. I love the sky on Jeju Island from the top of 톺아보기 autumn.
Yeah, the sky in Jeju is always clear.
Once upon a time, this sky had turned red.
What? In Jeju Island?
Have you heard of the 4.3 incident?
I think I've seen it on the internet, but I don't know the details.
Most people are not aware of the 4.3 incident. A lot of people have died here as well.
Really?
Next to 톺아보기 autumn, there is a 4.3 incident site designated 톺아보기 autumn massacre site, which was originally built by Japan when it fortified Jeju, and later the USA blew up and created a very big pit.
And?
Since then, 4.3 incidents have been started. 132 people who have been unjustly arrested in advance were imprisoned in a dried sweet potato chip warehouse and shot to death at the massacre site.
How could that happen?
Many of the victims are farmers, government officials, educators, and students. 6 years after this happened, the brigade were able to recover the bodies of the victims.
Why couldn't you recover the body before that?
Before that, of course, the brigade families asked for the body's recovery, but all they come back was rejection and silence.
That's a heartbreaking story. From now on, I'm going to study 4.3 incident and let people know about this for those who were victimized unfairly.
Yeah, I hope you guys who are listening to this remember this. Wow, this place has stone walls built high. Do you know what kind of history is contained in this place?
Yes, of course. In the spring of 1949, when the subjection first was in full swing, the castle was built with stone walls to block the connection between the residents and the armed forces and to effectively monitor and control the residents. In other words, this place is also called a strategic village.
What are the pit outside these walls? The thorn bushes are also laid out.
Oh, it's called a 톺아. It was created to prevent the intrusion of armed forces, and it was made by digging hole 2 meters and 2 meters deep outside the castle, which is about 500 meters long.
Then the people in the castle must have dug that big pit too?
Yes, it was difficult to eat even one meal a day back then, but how hard must it have been? See the square building at every corner of the castle?
Even between the corners.
Yes, that place is called the 정문초소. It was a place where men and women of all ages stood guard without distinction. At the 정문초소, it was a place where residents checked their 양민증 similar to their resident registration card when they entered the castle.
Even small children stood on guard. Oh my god! I can feel how bad and difficult the situation was at the time. Hello, I will tell you about the 4.3 Spirit Holy Land in Jocheon, Jeju. First, 너붕숭이 is a place that preserved and exhibits many traces of literature on 4.3, such as the 애기무덤, that tells the situation at the time.
So from now on, for those who don't know 애기무덤 or Uncle Sunny literary monument, I'll tell you about it. Among the victims of the 4.3 incident, the baby thumb. Yeah, 애기무덤 is the place where the bodies of young children remain temporarily buried alive.
It sounds sad.
Yeah. Now, Doraemon, let me introduce you Uncle Sunny's literary monument.
I got it. Uncle Sunny literary monument is a monument commemorating the novel Uncle Sunny by 현기영, who broke the taboo of the 4.3 incidents with the subject of the genocide that took place here in Bukchon village.
These tombstones are spread out to symbolize the victims.
Seeing this, I think it's really cool that you are trying to promote 4.3 thought bilateral at a time when you couldn't talk about it.